Well, friends, we live in a world of pronouns. That's the world we live in. Pronouns have gone crazy, and it seems like everything is more and more insane. And so we're going to take a little look at this video with a whole new set of pronouns that I'd never heard of before, and then we'll dissect what she has to say a little bit.
Can your gender change from season to season? Hi, I'm Dee, my pronouns are they, them, but I also go by any pronouns, and today's video is inspired by an ex of mine who used to say to me,
why does your gender change so dramatically season to season?
And I want to talk about that. For a lot of trans and non-binary individuals, you may also find yourself changing or exploring your expression or gender identity depending on the season.
So this is really interesting, and your gender identity can change, or your expression, throughout the seasons. And we don't watch these videos to mock these people. Our hearts should hurt for them. Obviously, this is a result of a tragedy in which people's identity is built on shifting sand. And so our hearts should break for these people, because we want them to have an identity that is all about what has God made me to be, which is unchanging. That's stability, and that is a solid foundation we can build our life off of, based on identity that is from outside of us, that was given to us by our Creator. So when someone has an identity that is such shifting sand that changes with the whims of the world or the falling trees and the leaves because of the seasons, like, it's such a fickle and temporary and whimsical and unstable foundation to have our identity on, that changes. And that instability is doing so much damage to our kids and our world and our individuals who buy into it. But let's watch a little bit more of what she has to say.
Now, this isn't saying that all trans individuals experience this, because that's just not the case, or that seasons determine your gender identity or expression. However, it can influence it. For myself, I feel more masculine in the summertime. I wear more masculine clothing, I wear shorts, I normally have my hair up more, and I just feel more boy. Whereas in the wintertime, for some reason, girl mode comes out, and I'm loving skirts and dresses and having my hair down. And this might be because in the summertime I get sensory issues because of the heat, so I wear my hair up and I wear less clothing. Whereas in the winter I'm in multiple layers, so I can wear stuff that is a bit more girly or girl coded.
Okay, this is an example of how we've put gender expression into such small boxes. It's like, yeah, we all wear different clothes during the summer or the winter. That doesn't have to mean that there's this big meaning in regards to our gender expression or our identity. It's like we can, wear more masculine clothes in the winter because we need to stay warmer, and during the summer, we might wear shorts, or some women might wear dresses more because they're not as cold. It's like we don't have to make gender identity and expression of that gender such a narrow boxes to where we feel like our identity is changing throughout the seasons. No, that doesn't have to have anything to do with our identity. It's merely the clothes that are right for the season, and it doesn't need to be anything more than that or anything less than that.
Freely, because I can experiment with the layers to make it a combination of masc and femme that suits me. For a lot of individuals, they are the opposite. I know so many trans and non-binary individuals who are fluid as I am with their gender identity and expression, who find themselves being more feminine in the summertime and more masculine in the wintertime. And regardless of which one you are, if you're masc in the summer or masc in the winter, or femme in the summer or femme in the winter, that's totally valid and completely up to you. But I think once you start thinking about how you dress depending on the season, you then start thinking, I wonder if it is tied to my gender expression. I also want to just quickly say that gender and expression are completely different. How you dress and express yourself does not always equal your gender identity. So when my ex used to say to me, oh, you change gender depending on the season, I wouldn't say I changed gender, because I've always been fluid. I just changed my expression.
Yes, obviously we don't change genders based on the season. We don't change genders at all. But our gender expression, like I said, she's making way too much of the depth of our fashion choices. And this is where we also need to be careful as Christians not to put people into boxes. So many times we have these narrow boxes for how someone is supposed to look based on their gender. And it's like, it used to be, there's lots of girls who said they're kind of tomboys where, they were not as girly and they're into outdoor things. And we should celebrate that and encourage it. We all have different giftings, personalities. We need to make sure we don't contribute to these very narrow definitions of gender and expression of individuals' genders, because that's feeding directly into this type of kind of baloney, if I can say that nicely.
Did you know, however, there is a gender identity that is linked to the seasons? This is called gender season. And this is a gender identity I've only just learned about. It's a
she only just learned about it because it was just made up. So that's why no one's ever heard of it.
Micro identity. It's not an identity that I have ever heard discussed before. It's a new one for me.
It's a new one for everyone because no one's ever had it.
So if anybody knows anything more about gender season, please let me know, because I am new to this identity. But from what I know, gender season is an individual who explores their gender identity in relation to a season or all the seasons. So this might be somebody whose gender expression and identity is linked to one season. So for example, winter. Or this might be somebody whose gender identity and expression changes depending on the season. So does that mean I'm gender season? No. For me personally, I am just fluid with my gender identity and my expression, and for some reason in the summer my boy comes out and in the winter my femme comes out. That's totally okay, because my expression doesn't necessarily relate to my gender. I just have fun with my expression, and for some reason in the summer I just want to wear shorts and snapbacks and put my hair up.
And you can wear shorts and snapbacks. I don't know what that is, but you can wear those things and it doesn't have to affect your gender. So I think we've seen enough of this gal. All this to say, our world is dying and our world needs a solid foundation. People need to know in their depth of who they are. And we have much more stability and better mental health, better spiritual life, better everything, better society when that's coming from a solid foundation of this is who Christ made us to be. And our identity is not something that's swayed by the seasons or by the wind or by the falling leaves, but it is inbuilt in who we are. We can celebrate that. We can embrace it. And then we can express our gender in healthy ways. And we can not have to live by this foolishness. And so be on your knees praying for these people, invest in them, help them understand that you don't have to live by your feelings, because your feelings will betray you. Your feelings are always changing. And so we should look at our feelings. We should filter them through God's word. And then we should change what we're believing, and then that will change actually what we're feeling. So our feelings should change to reflect reality instead of our trying to change our reality based on what we're feeling in this moment. So in this crazy world, love people, invest in them, share truth without them, and give them a better foundation of what to live for and how to live.